EDG, and if I'm still on blue side, I'm never flip banning Aatrox or Akali. But okay, so this time JD Gaming do pick on blue side. I think that's very smart. However, I think the core thing for JD Gaming is that they still have to get rid of these flex picks. I don't think they have great capabilities to play them. Right now, unless they ban away the Akali, I see it being pretty poor for them.
Still have the opportunity to do so, though, however. Third ban available for both the teams.
Scout is a disgusting Akali player, and I don't think they're comfortable with Sylas versus Akali matchup. We've seen a lot of Sylases versus Akali, and you can snowball on that matchup for sure, but it is very player-focused. And I would say Scout has a very clear edge there. So JD Gaming are banning away teamfight options, but they're leaving all the powerful flexes up. The Jace, the Akali are both there.
Sylas as well, but they take that one away.
Yeah, if I'm EDG here, I pick Rek'Sai and I pick one of the flexes. Or I could do that instead.
Please, no. Please, God.
But I think it's a pretty clear cut. Just take the Rek'Sai, take one of the flexes that are still open. I think Aurelio is great because Aurelio is pretty much the one that Yagao still plays, so that's a takeaway from him. Jace is also another one you want to consider, but I would still go for Rek'Sai. I think Rek'Sai plus Sylas has a little bit too much kill threat.
There is the opportunity as well for the Jace for either side, as you mentioned, because Yagao has shown us some pretty decent Jaces before. Oh.
This is very interesting to place this high in the draft.
Lux support getting picked up in the first rotation by EDG.
So Lux support is actually quite obnoxious in lane, but the problem is you need a strong jungler to actually to make use of that. Lux is not the best champion when she's roaming into the river herself. She has a lot of problems there where she can get caught out. So I'm not sure why they're giving up on Rek'Sai and picking Lux so high unless they think they have a good flex potential. What I'm reading here is that EDG think there's a chance for Yagao to pick Zoe, which is by far his best champion. So they're showing the Lux early.
Well, still have to find out. The final lock-in is going to be the Jarvan the fourth there for JJ. Seems like EDG's strategy so far with JJ is just they pick one champion per series and they're like, okay, you play this, and you're going to win for us. In game number 1, he showed absolutely fantastic pathing, absolutely fantastic decision-making, team fighting. Really brought the Jarvan home, as it were. The first ban coming out from EDG is going to be the Gangplank here in the second rotation.
Okay, so still respecting Zoom quite a bit. I think JD Gaming have a much better draft this time. They're going to have priority in the bot lane. In terms of jungle, Rek'Sai is still, by far, a much stronger solo jungle compared to Jarvan. So they're going to have a lot of priority, and that should free up Lurmal as well. If you look at Lurmal's champions, he's not limited whatsoever. And with Sivir, they could really set up something like I was talking about. The key picks we were saying were the Fiddlesticks. And yeah, basically anything that can roam, give hard crowd control, I think are great here.
We saw LGD try it earlier today. Hopefully it's a little bit more successful than that for JDG's sake, but the Yuumi going to be the final ban there for Edward Gaming. Just trying to take that option, that combo away, no longer having the Speedy Cat option for Lumal. Final ban here from JDG is going to focus towards the bottom side again, just trying to take away AD carry options from iBoy, but Xayah still available. No, don't take the Kog'Maw. Please.
With Rageblade being nerfed that hard, I really don't think Kog'Maw's a good option.
There's so much threat that gets put onto you as well from this composition with the Rek'Sai, with the Sylas. So I'm preferring the Xayah here personally.
Yeah, I think the Xayah is the best solution as well. We've seen this matchup quite a bit. Sivir with her low range does have to walk up to you, and you have a pretty easy Featherstorm. A pretty easy Blade Caller to get damage onto the Sivir. So for JD Gaming, they still have a support and a mid laner to pick up.
Looks
I
like
think Jace is great.
Really good pick there for Yagao. Very likely going to be Sylas in the top lane then.
And Fiddlesticks, please. Fiddlesticks. Fiddle.
Fiddle?
Fiddle. Please. Please.
He's just rotating through the entire support roster. He's just clicking random buttons. He's like, try and predict this, Clement.
So this is an interesting one because this is a preemptive ban against Rakan, essentially.
Okay, it will be the
yes,
Fiddlesticks
it will be
instead.
Fiddle.
All
There
right.
we go.
Get the Fiddlesticks.
This is
Lumao's
Lumao's
Fiddle.
best champion, and when he starts roaming around the map, it really is one of the best. So EDG have a lot of options here. Should we support Lux still? That's still the mainstay. We have seen a couple of Jaxes being taken against the Sylas in the top lane.
Juno, of course, a very strong carry player as well.
Yep.
So.
You get poked out early, but you do win the matchup later when you have a bit of items built up, especially with the Phage, and you can just chase up to him. But Akali, of course, is still there.
Okay, there you go. That one's easy decision, it seems, for EDG. Going to pick that one up, likely going over to Scout. Now, will be the support Lux then. How does this fare into the Fiddlesticks matchup? Especially with a Sivir.
What I'm reading here is that JD Gaming is going to have priority, but EDG is playing for kill threat. If you look at their lanes, their bot lane, once you have the Cataclysm on, it's very easy for Lux to then follow up with all of her abilities. Someone's going to die in that combination. It's all about if EDG get the first move in, and they should be able to win that bot lane. They're going to get pressured early on, but that's still fine for them. And in the top side, you have the Aurelia versus Sylas matchup, which is a winnable matchup by Aurelia later in the game. When Sylas goes for the AP items, it does open up windows for Aurelia to then burst him down. And in the mid lane, you have Jace versus Akali, which is, again, this is a matchup where you're going to see early priority from JD Gaming, but a lot of kill threat later on from the perfect execution. So for me, reading these compositions, it's really about how much damage JD Gaming can put onto EDG pre-6.
All about the pre-6, all about the early game here for JD Gaming, which based on last game, maybe not all that confident, but now they have a new draft. They have Lumao back. They have Flawless back. They are feeling a lot more confident about this draft going into EDG, but EDG still have the tools to take it out in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for this Sivir if they're engaged upon to survive. You think about Aurelia versus Akali and Cataclysm going on top of you. This is not going to be an easy game for Imp. This is one of those games where Imp is
what the hell do you even spell shield? You just pray and hope it lands on something important.
It's a very difficult team fight for JD Gaming to actually win. They can never be on the back foot. If EDG are the one doing the initiations, I don't see JD Gaming ever winning. So JD Gaming need to pressure all the lanes, all of the early game from start to finish.
They've got the opportunity to pressure the team fights as well with that Fiddlesticks Lumao coming out with that one. Exciting to see as we get into game number 2, potentially match point here between EDG and JD Gaming.
I think that one goes to EDG.
Yeah, pretty significantly there.
Even the LGD chants were louder.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Not the level 1 again. Mako going to be able to get a lot of damage there onto Imp. Iboy taking quite a bit, too. But no back's going to be able to come out for either side at this point.
That was a really good boomerang being thrown by Imp there. Catches both the targets. And when you have a Fiddlesticks, you always want to do level 1. You're so strong in the level 1 just because of the AoE damage.
Well, Luck's not too shabby either. Granted, on that level 1, did get the bind at the very least, so not a total loss there for EDG. Mako not going to have as much success here in the early bindings as Mark did in the Dominus series. Game number 2, he landed pretty much all of them.
Just taking a look at the abilities, we do have the Lethal Tempo being selected by the by Imp. So this is a standard build, the one that you're looking forward towards a team fight. You've also seen Fleet Footwork just for tower chipping. And on the top lane, Zoom is going to go for Comet. Now, this one is a bit debatable for a lot of people. You are stronger in lane, but you really can't initiate as well in team fights. The base armor and magic resistance you get from Aftershock is quite tremendous for someone like Sylas that is usually building full AP.
Of course, a player POV is going to be Zoom today. Not quite pro view yet, but you can check that one out. The links are on, I believe it's Doyu as well.
Yep, we'll be there. You can find them.
Raz's Twitter yesterday had them. JDG having a pretty good time here in the early game lane. This is something we didn't see LGD pull off in our earlier series. They drafted the same lane, but didn't have as much luck getting the shove in, didn't have as much luck getting aggression down. Of course, there was a jungler in their way that time, but JJ now going to try and spot out Flawless, but Flawless will, of course, see him coming, so JJ may not have that much luck. Instead, he'll take the Gromp.
Frankly, this is what we expected. JD Gaming do have lane priority in all of their lanes early on. Good move by Flawless.
Early engage coming in here from JJ. The Conqueror's been procced by Flawless. It's a lot of damage. Not quite going to be able to kill him, though, just yet.
Yeah, that was a little bit greedy by JJ. If someone's just taking your blue buff, you have to assume they have vision there. He uses the EQ combo anyway onto the Gromp and pays for it. Taking a look, we do have the shield bash being selected by Lux. Unfortunately for JJ, he's not going to be able to fight. Oh,
nice. Good smite coming in from JJ, going to be able to secure himself the big wolf, if nothing else. But Flawless is going to get free reign down to this bottom side jungle here on the side of EDG. iBoy getting a lot of damage onto Imp as well. So EDG played that trade so beautifully.
Yeah, splitting the duo up, Mako getting good poke damage down. And holding on to the light-biting explosion. Wow.
Oh boy, this is going to be jungler versus jungler as well. Mako needs to get out of here, has the shield for himself for the time being, will keep himself alive. Flawless gets taken down for first blood, but JJ still going in. He wants it. Scout here as well. Doesn't have the 6 just yet, but he has the damage to take down Lumao.
Just too damn tanky on EDG's side. They try to go for Mako, but he has the heal on him. Even though iBoy isn't bringing it, there's still someone there, and a great teleport from Scout.
Now, iBoy going to be pretty happy with this lane so far. He's up 10 CS, he's up a kill. They've got a lot of gold off this last play.
So this was actually spotted out. JD Gaming, Flawless coming over the wall. There was a ward there. Good reaction there by Mako. And you could see the teleport from Scout actually prevents Lumao and Imp going on and getting that damage to finish off. 2 kills for nothing on EDG's side. This is really looking hard. We were talking about it. JD Gaming, they need to find something before level 6, or else when JJ comes up, he's going to have so much kill threat across all of these lanes.
And that roam did wonders for Scout as well. He was able to pick up the full arm guard there on top of the Doran shield, so he's going to be doing a lot better in this lane. And now Jinnu invading into the jungle, giving Flawless a taste of his own medicine.
Flawless does have smite, should be fine.
All right, yeah, he's not going to have to use it either. But Mako coming up for the level 4 roam. JJ looks for the flag and drag, not going to be able to find it, but will not even have to tank the turret shot because of the shield from Mako. Now Mako going to be roaming back towards the bottom side of the map.
You think the level 4 was bad? Wait until you see the level 6.
Oh no, flag and drag not going to land on the Flawless there. And Flawless will spot out Jinnu. This is relentless pressure going down onto the jungler of JDG from Edward Gaming at this point. They are just not letting him relax.
Flawless is getting out-visioned so hard here. Look at the positions that Flawless has just passed. He also didn't guess correctly on where the warding was, but actually is not in the tribe rush.
Ooh, he still will secure it there for JJ. Flawless came in to try and steal it. He'll get the little Krugs, but not quite the big one. I don't think that went off in the right order there for Scout. He got pulled back into it.
Yeah, and he's only level 5.
Taking a ton of damage. I'm not even sure how that Shuriken flip happened. But now Scout going to be in a lot of trouble here. 3 versus 1 under the tower. He does hit level 6. Going to miss the Shuriken flip, so he's not going to have a whole lot of pressure here. But it looks like him hitting level 6 was the catalyst for JD Gaming wanting to back off.
Probably has a cooldown back for the Twilight Shroud. You can see it up already. Not really going to do much against that. And also with JJ coming down the middle of the lane, he had a very short window to do anything.
Potentially looking for an engage here on the bottom side of the map. Mako has not hit level 6 yet, neither has iBoy, but Scout and Jinnu both already there, which means Flawless, or JJ rather, shouldn't be far behind. iBoy's just going to solo farm the lane for a little bit. So Mako goes on a little bit of a journey.
The problem in this lane is that even though JD Gaming still have lane priority, they don't have enough deep vision to actually push up freely. They're always constantly in fear that someone is going to come over the brush and just take them out like that. So there's going to be a lot of fighting around this area. Flawless needs to secure at least vision into the Gromp in blue before JD Gaming's bot lane can push up.
The very least, Flawless picking up the Scuttle Crab will make the bottom laners feel slightly more secure in their safety. So now you can't just sneak all the way over. Well, unless you flag and drag across the wall, which I suspect JJ will be doing later.
You can see the pings coming out from Flawless, exactly on the spot we were talking about. He needs a ward between those two. Now, if someone lane ganks you, you say, oh, well, at least they took an inefficient pathing. But if someone comes from blue and Gromp, I think it's your fault.
Oh, this is interesting. Flawless and Yagao going to be looking for the invade here onto JJ. JJ does pick up a blue buff and ding 6 at the same time, so he's not going to be too worried. But he isn't going to back just yet. Wanted to make sure his bot lane would be fairly safe. And Flawless will not start up this Infernal Drake. Still on the field. But level 6 has come in for almost all the members of Edward Gaming. Mako the only one who hasn't quite hit it yet. And JJ knows this is time for him to start pulling the trigger.
Now, this is actually a really smart call from JD Gaming. The reason they know that JJ is here, because by the timing, he should have appeared by around the Raptors by now. He isn't at the Raptors, so he's still on this side of the map. And there they see him. That was a really good avoid by JD Gaming. We were talking about if he comes through the lane, then, you know, like, whatever. But this time, JD Gaming are even better than I thought.
Yeah, they can't even get to the whatever stage. He didn't get that gank across, but he will instead pick up the Infernal Drake, and this is having a little bit of an echo of last game here, Clement, so far. Infernal Drake first, picked up there by Edward Gaming. Next one, where's it going to roll? Is this going to be double Infernal? It looks like it will be.
Yeah, still very unfortunate for JD. This is not a dragon fight I think they want to face. Being on the blue side, however, you do have a very good chance of having Fiddle come over the Drake wall. So what they can do is allow EDG to walk into the pit first, and then just surprise them.
That said, if they get the double Infernal, that is a whole lot of damage going over there for Edward Gaming. And that's something that JDG don't really want to deal with. That said, they are doing a whole lot better this game than last. They are keeping up roughly in gold, down 1.3k. Infernal Drake up, but they have CS advantage in the mid lane for the time being at the very least. I said that, I went through the numbers, and I was like, I don't know if I'm actually happy with where JDG are.
You shouldn't be. You really shouldn't be. If you look at the turret plating, this is a really key tell in if their lanes are actually doing well, and they have no turret plating whatsoever. Oh, they have one in the mid, but I don't think that's really enough to call it a successful priority lane.
Well, now they've got two, Clement.
Okay.
Did pick up one on the bottom side. Getting closer. Not quite there just yet. And Flawless is just having full reign of this side of EDG's jungle. But at this point, I don't feel like JJ cares all that much because he's been finding success in defending his bottom lane. And at that point, that feels like it's more of a primary than making sure your entire jungle is intact.
I mean, he has enough time to then swing back. Most likely, JD Gaming's bot lane is somewhere around this area. This is actually very calculated from JD Gaming's part. They don't see the enemy jungler in support, so they're backing off to their top side. They farm that side, and once they show up in their lane again, then you come back and sweep. So you don't face them when you're weak. You come back when they're not there, and then you can still sweep out all the vision, secure your own jungle. So I have to say I really enjoy JJ's pathing here. Like, it might seem quite rudimentary on what he's doing, but a lot of jungles would just die on that play.
Well, especially the fact that he's such a new player to the LPL. This is pretty much absolute rookie status coming up from EDG Young, and he is playing absolutely beautifully. Going up against Flawless, going up against Kanavi. Flawless definitely is a much more experienced player than Kanavi, but he's still doing a beautiful job into him, and Flawless is the hunter-killer. He goes, tries to find the jungler, tries to get those kills, and JJ just has not been falling for it.
And this is just so rough for Yagao. He needs to walk around this entire section. JJ comes back with the steal even. Look at the bot lane. The bot lane is forced off as well. They know they're cut off from their mid lane.
Yagao is barely even keeping his CS lead too. It's shrunk down to just 13, especially with how pressured Scout was in the early game. That early roam for Edward Gaming has set them up for success for so long in this game.
This is beautiful from EDG. They're not supposed to have lane priority in their bot and their mid lane, but they've been able to get full vision into the enemy jungle regardless.
This may be a little over-aggressive, though, from them. Really trying to steal that red buff, but they do decide to back off, potion themselves back up. Won't have to worry about it for a little while. Infernal Drake still a while from spawning. The Rift Herald is on the map, but is it worth rotating up your bottom lane up towards the top side, or is that for later in the game?
That was quite a rough rotation from JD Gaming, to be honest. Like EDG, even though they were forced off, they're giving up 320 gold in the top. They had to bring someone else just to stabilize that part of the map. And this is just so well done by EDG. If you think about what they're doing, they're basically saying, okay, when you're coming in doing vision and waiting for us, we're going to push out for the lane priority. We're going to force you back into lane. And then when you finally show up, we're then going to pin one side of the map towards the bottom side. We're then going to go into your red. They're outmaneuvering JD Gaming so hard.
JD's here for the counter gank, but JDG doesn't know that. Flag and drag not going to land, but here's the Cataclysm. Conqueror's been procced by Flawless. He's going to go for the ult. He's going to find it. Zoom has the Cataclysm as well. JDG might just get the better end of this trade. They've taken down 2 so far. Scout still alive, trying to look for Zoom. Flashes in, gets it with the Q, has the double kill still. He cannot find Yagao just yet. He's waiting for it, trying to get the Shuriken flip out for safety. No longer has the ultimate, no longer has his life. 3-1-0 now. Scout taken down, and JDG 3-for-2 trade.
Yeah, very good play right there. Unfortunately for Jinu, he did miss out on the Vanguard's edge from his ultimate, so that would have been a double reset from the Blade Surge. A little bit of a misplay, but JD Gaming outplayed the heck out of that. They were there first. They, even though the double stun did go down, I think JJ underestimated the amount of damage that Flawless and Zoom would be able to throw onto him. JJ is basically out of the fight, and you can see right there, Jinu misses out. Now, I believe the Cataclysm does actually have an AP ratio to it, so Zoom is able to get a very good deal stealing that Cataclysm and throwing it on the heads of the 3 members from EDG.
Scout finally falls down there. Doesn't have the Gunblade just yet, sitting on the arm guard plus the components. But he will have the Sork boots at the very least. And the first item has been completed for iBoy. He has the Essence Reaver. Imp is matching it, of course, but at least both AD carries have picked up their first item. And this Infernal is still on the field. It's just spawned recently. Just a 1k gold lead here for EDG. Blue buff being picked up by Scout. A lot of poke going down onto him. JDG look like they're prepping for vision around the dragon. This is too dangerous for EDG to actually start doing the dragon. If you look at their map, they don't know where Fiddlesticks is going to come from. Uh-oh, Scout's in trouble. Here comes the surprise party. It's your birthday, Scout. Get a death for it. And no one preps better than Lumal, hiding straight inside of vision. The bot lane was already pushed to Tort, but this is what playing against JD Gaming is like. They're willing to give up a lot of CS, a lot of turret plating, just to make those kills work. Now another tower has been taken down. First one of the game by JDG, rather. Edward Gaming starting to look on the back foot. This is nowhere near as dominant as game number 1. They're even in gold. They might be even in dragons, but that reset hurt so much for JDG. Yeah, just judging by the items, the main difference here is that Kali Scout can't really come here. It's going to have to be a steal. Oh, so close. Just 54 HP. Mako wasn't able to find it. Whew. Such a shame, too. That would have been awesome. Yeah, Flawless didn't have Smite there, so it could have been a double Infernal to EDG, but JD Gaming, they do walk away with that. That was a little bit of luck. But they do even up the field all the way across it. Now, EDG might start having a little bit of trouble. They've hit 6. They had that kill threat in the lane, but it doesn't look like so far they've been able to capitalize on it. Now that that's the state of the game, does their situation change? Do their priorities shift? Well, I think the main difference here is that with map control, Lumao is just going to be able to dominate a lot of these team fights. EDG are going to find it very difficult to contest objectives at this point. They're going to have to regain lane priority before they can move to objectives. And JD Gaming is just going to have so much time to actually do it. I really like what EDG are doing right here. Instead of going for the objectives that they know they're most likely going to lose, they're going to go and try to group up for kills. Oh, might be able to find it. Yagao flashes out, but there's the flawless execution plus the binding from Mako. Surely he's going to go down the shutdown onto Scout. But now, Flawless has picked up the Rift Herald and might be getting their second tower of the game. Jinu going to try and wave clear the best he can. Good spell shield from Imp to dodge out the Flawless duet. That tower's gone, but the second tower may be under fire as well. And I don't know if EDG are going to be there to respond in time. It looks like they are sending JJ and Jinu up for it. EDG still with a small gold lead, however. I'm a little bit surprised by that. JJ walking straight in tried for it. The surprise party comes in from Lumao, not going to do a whole ton of damage. The ultimate there as well. Here comes the Flawless Duet. Looks like EDG want to go for the engage here. Not going to be able to land the stun, but Flawless is down. 2 taken out so far. Zoom and Lumao, the last ones remaining. And Yagao cannot cancel the teleport. The double kill for Scout. He gets taken out, but it looks like the ace is going to come in for EDG, turning the game with a triple kill from Jinnu.
I did not think a 4v5 would go that poorly for JD Gaming. They had the numbers advantage. Xayah was not in the fight at all, and there was no ultimate on Scout. But I'm still baffled how that fight turned out so poorly for JD Gaming. Sure, they were missing the Crowstorm and the ultimates there, but they had an extra member, and wow. I guess that's just the strength of Aurelia.
Yeah, I really want to see that again because I feel like it can't just be the Aurelia. Luckily, we get the opportunity to.
Yeah, this is a 4v5 fight. There is no ult on Lumao, so you do have that going for them, but let's just watch this again. The damage flash instantly popped by Imp. Imp actually falls down without doing any damage. It was such a good flawless duet coming in from Jinnu, actually locking down Imp before he even gets an auto attack off. That was the crucial difference maker here. We
it was the Aurelia.
Yeah. We talked about in the draft that it's actually very difficult for Aurelia to for Sivir to survive these team fights, and that was a great showcase of that.
Wow.
All of that
damage
dealt by Imp was done before the Aurelia was actually going in.
That was just the poke from the fight, and then Jinnu just comes in 4,700 damage.
What the hell was that?
EDG are not hurting for top laners, man.
I don't blame JD Gaming for not backing out there. That was a 4v5. Xayah wasn't there. They actually had the TP opportunity earlier, so.
It's just absolutely insane play from Jinnu. I mean, he blew everything for that play, but he got I believe a 4-man flawless duet, or 4-man Vanguard's Edge rather, flashed for the flawless duet. Then JJ comes in with a Cataclysm combo, and it was just absolutely lights out for JDG. So now they've got to look for a Lumao play with the Crowstorm. He's sitting on the side, but there's no one there to answer with.
The determination on that play, the decision to just go in with no hesitation, that was really something else. I don't think you'll see many other teams have that thin of a damage calculation to understand that they actually would win right there.
And I think that's something that was impressive in game number 1 as well, because we saw that come in from Scout with that Pop Blossom calculation. He was like, yes, we can win the fight for long enough for me to walk all the way around if I land the Pop Blossom. And then that's how you get a 5-man Pop Blossom in competitive play, ladies and gentlemen. Just have a little bit of faith in your teammates. Do not recommend it in solo queue, though.
I was just thinking to myself, where did Imp go? How did JD Gaming collapse that easily?
They're having a little bit of problems here in this game. Oh, no. Their problems are about to get worse here because this is going to be the Mountain Drake for Edward Gaming. There's no one here to contest. The Barons on the map, yes, but JDG aren't going to be able to take that one out. Maybe they can get some vision around it. Looks like they're going to do just that, but EDG tossing out some pings of their own towards it.
I actually don't mind this play. What JD Gaming are saying is that, okay, we're not going to contest on even footing here. We're going to set up a strong side with vision control in EDG's own jungle, and when they come over to check the Baron, that's going to be our opportunity. So yes, giving up a Mountain Drake uncontested feels bad, but I think it's necessary to set up a bigger play later.
Just going to scout away for that with the final spark. Jinnu is real deep. If you look at him on the minimap, he is past this tower in the bush. He was just waiting to see if he could try and catch anyone out. Was not able to, however. But EDG will take down the tier 2. Flawless looking for the flank. Scout, not quite half health, but he's definitely been chunked out a little bit. Doesn't matter at this point, though, because EDG have backed off from the play. They've gotten what they wanted. Jinnu's going to back to base. He does have teleport still available if another fight breaks out as well.
Great control ward on the left side there. Actually stops JD Gaming from using that wall as a platform for the Crowstorm.
This is a really strong point in the game for EDG as well. If you look at the items coming out, Scout has both the Zhonya's and the Hextech Gunblade plus the Sork Boots. And in the top lane, Jinnu has finished his Sterix Gauge plus the Trinity Force. Both of them have so much damage to put out in these team fights. Yes, iBoy doesn't have his third item, so he's not quite that max crit, all that damage, but we saw the last fight. iBoy wasn't even there.
No, I can't imagine what the fight's going to look like when you have iBoy dealing damage as well. I don't think Imp is going to be able to survive. It's probably better for JD Gaming to try and just try and kill the guys that are coming in, but not like actually peel.
Uh-oh, they're looking for a pick. They might be able to find it here onto JJ, but JJ goes for the Cataclysm instead, uses the stopwatch as well. Going to keep himself safe. Jinu used the teleport to give a little bit of backup as well. But JDG, that was their engage. Oh, the flash binding from Mako. He's going in for the engage. Jinu tries to follow with the flawless duet, but it will go wide. The flawless duet from Yagao does as well. The Vanguard's edge.
That's a bad place to back. Okay, okay. At least he gets out.
He gets out for now, but I'm a little bit scared here for JDG.
Yeah, if you look at the ultimates overall, EDG still has the advantage, but JD Gaming, this is a really smart retreat path. You just go over the blue wall where EDG don't have vision, and EDG are not going to be able to pursue. You never walk into Fiddle's jungle. That's just not a viable strategy.
Seems like that's their one saving grace at this point in the game, is that they still have a Fiddlesticks, technically speaking. And they can clear out the vision and then create a threat with that support pick. But it feels like that's just all they have at this point because EDG are so far ahead. They have a 5K gold lead, and they're up at least a Mountain Dragon, which means Baron is so much scarier of a threat for EDG to take.
Just looking down the gold lead, the only big difference here is from iBoy versus Int. Does have a lot more gold here. There was solo pushing in the bot side for quite a while. I just want to go back to the Fiddlesticks point. If you note how Lumao is playing Fiddlesticks, I think this is actually the correct way to do it, where you give up tower to set up plays.
Oh, no.
Never mind.
3-man gank coming in here onto Yagao. He is just so dead. That looks like it might be the Baron, Clement.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. He was only a couple steps away from his own tower, but you can't do that in the late game.
JJ was looking for the engage there, but a good fear from Lumao will prevent it from happening. Now, Edward Gaming will turn onto the Baron here. iBoy's almost got the 3 items, so a lot of damage going down onto this Drake plus the Mountain. Baron now half health. Scout looking for an engage, forces it out. The flash from Lumao. And now EDG have just turned the fight. They take down Lumao. The teleport comes in from Zoom, but too little, too late. Edward Gaming may look for the Baron once again. Jinu's sitting here on the flanks, but he is not under much threat. 4-1-4 on this Aurelia. He's got his 2 items. He is still very scary. Imp in a lot of trouble. Has to flash away himself. Teleport coming in as well from Yagao. Yeah,
good hit right there.
I'm going to take a ton of health from that one.
So this is a very JD Gaming's way to stop a Baron, is you basically sacrifice enough kills to the gods of EDG to appease them. And I have to say, it's actually quite useful. A lot of times giving over 2 kills and a teleport to stop a Baron is much more worth it than just giving up a Baron. So we see this with JD Gaming a lot. They are the masters of chaos, hectic games, and I actually like this call. I actually like the way they played it out. Sure, they gave up piecemeal parts of their teammates, but it was worth it.
They do stall out in the end. And it gives time for iBoy to get his 3rd item of the game. And if you look on the other side of the field, Imp still sitting on 2 items. So iBoy a full item ahead at this point. This does not bode well for JDG, but at the very least they were able to stall out the Baron.
Yagao starting to do some real damage right now. He's been the MVP when he selected Jace the last time around. The only victory that JD Gaming has had so far.
Doing a lot of damage, but will it be enough at this point? Mako taking most of his health, still has the fruit to heal him up. JDG perhaps looking for the engage here. It is an Infernal Drake, so this is very important to fight over for both teams.
I would not do this if I was EDG.
They don't seem to be listening here, Clement. They are able to pick it up, and it doesn't look like JDG are going to follow up with an engage, so EDG just get the Infernal for free.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel you on that one, man.
Yeah, that was a situation where I felt JD Gaming could have done a lot more. They had a Crowstorm over the wall. Didn't really get that opportunity. I felt like that was a brushed Crowstorm straight into EDG's composition and a good chance to wipe up the fight. But they didn't go all in. They didn't really follow up.
2 members backing there for JD Gaming, so if EDG are aware of this, they could rotate onto the Baron and not really have much of a contest here. It looks like they have a feeling at the very least. Going to establish some vision around the pit. Maybe trying setting up a pick of their own. They know there's no vision here. They've established the control wards. Mako maybe looking for a pick there. Will launch the binding but not find anyone just yet. EDG playing so carefully around this Baron buff.
JD Gaming have to be so patient. They just want to whittle down EDG. There's no need to face check any of this. You still have a lot of good words on Numal. Oh, but this is smart from EDG.
Scout's looking for the pick. He might find Zoom. Not going to land it. Oh, there goes the Vanguard's edge, but no follow-up engage from EDG.
That was actually quite a poor engage from Jinu. He burns his flash for that as well.
Well, you win some, you lose some, Clement. And when you get a triple kill and save the fight for your team 4 versus 5, I feel like you can lose some. And Yagao is going to be losing some health. Flawless execution coming down, but Yagao still healthy enough to survive. Flash comes in from Scout, maybe able to take him down. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Very close escape. Actually would have died without the Pop Blossom there.
The time, though, does mean that Yagao is going to be forced into base while the Baron is being taken down by Edward Gaming, so iBoy just needs to get into that pit, get some damage down, because Flawless is on the flanks. He's looking for a Smite steal. He has Flash, he has Smite, both available.
Both of the solo lanes actually based there for JD Gaming. Map is wide open, and they're going to lose Baron.
Good binding there from Mako. Zones off Flawless entirely. No chance of him even trying for a Flash steal. So now EDG have the Baron for the next 3 minutes. They're still up a massive amount of gold, almost 10K at this point. And 3 dragons to 1. Just need to start taking down some towers. And Edward Gaming, game number 2 was looking a little bit dicey for them in the earlier stages of the game, but ever since that play in the mid lane where they took that 4 versus 5 and won, yes, that was a massive thing to happen, but at the same time, ever since, it has just been absolutely them in the driver's seat by a mile.
Definitely the case, and now with the Baron buff, JD Gaming are not going to be able to wave clear as well as they previously have been. So I think for EDG, they should just start the split push right now. If they get someone caught, it's fine. They're at least going to take some towers down. I have to say that was really a wasted opportunity from JD Gaming. They burned Jinu's flash and ult, but Yagao stepped too far forward. That was a huge tempo loss. They actually could have held EDG at Baron for a long time if that didn't happen.
Now EDG going to be pushing out the side lanes and the mid lane. Bottom lane is already pushing for itself. Scout going to be rotating up towards the top side. And the rest of EDG just going to be sticking around here in the mid lane now. They still have to figure out where they want their lane allocations to ultimately go. There is still an inner tower remaining in the top lane. So it seems like that's a bit of an obvious choice for them.
EDG with interesting pings onto the Fnatic brush. Please someone check if Luma is there. They're doing some really good poke on JD Gaming's side, though.
Yeah, ton of wave clear. It's the power of the 2.5 item Sivir there. May not be 3 items, but still able to get a lot of poke with a ricochet. A lot of wave clear as well.
I think Jinu should be willing to go to the bottom lane. There's not a lot he can accomplish here. He's just there if JD Gaming do decide to engage.
EDG finally pick up the inner tower there on the top side of the map. Now they're pushing in with the Baron buff, but that wave clear from Imp is just absolutely disgusting. I feel like at this point, they have to take him out or distract him away if they want to have a chance of taking down any of these inhibitors.
Love that teleport from Scout. Just draw the attention away from JD Gaming. They're not willing to walk across that side of the map, knowing that Jinu's somewhere around there.
Another dragon coming up. It will be a mountain dragon. So really, EDG have just absolutely been blessed with dragons this game. 2 infernals, 2 mountains. This is disgusting.
I thought this was a Beijing arena.
What the hell?
Doesn't really feel like a home stadium if you can't control which Drake you want.
Not even a single cloud.
That should be a feature.
Now, EDG going to be able to pick this one up fairly easily. No contest going to be coming out from JD Gaming. They are going to use a lot of their remaining Baron buff timer on it, but at this point, they really weren't looking like they were going to be able to push down against Imp anyways.
Oh, finally, we're going to have the inhibitor fights happening. What needs to happen for JD Gaming is that they actually need to land substantial poke onto EDG before they come in. Ooh. If they don't...
Flawless duet's been blown as Flawless himself goes golden. Jinu getting the Sterix popped, but the Crow Storm not going to be enough. The ultimate comes in. JJ looking for the engage. Vanguard's edge dodged out by the entirety of JDG. Scout looking for some damage. Won't be able to find it. Shuriken flips away defensively. The Cataclysm by Zoom. Absolutely massive, but there's just not enough follow-up damage at the time being. And Zoom is getting chased away by Scout. He's trying to find the extra damage. No damage comes in from the flawless execution. And now EDG going to have to back away. They put down a lot of damage, but not able to find a single kill, and JDG will keep their hopes alive in game number 2.
Absolute triumph for JD Gaming. That was a fight where they were down 10,000 gold and were still able to stand even. I have to say, EDG did miss out on a lot of crucial ultimates. The Vanguard's Edge has not been hitting for Jinu. That would have been a 4-man slow if he found the initial target. But that whiffs, and they don't have enough to really close down on the rest of the fleeing JD Gaming members. Watching that again, great catch onto Flawless, forces his perfect timing out. Unfortunate ultimate by Luma was a little bit premature, but you can see the rest of the team not able to follow up from EDG. They go in again, trying to get that catch. Vanguard's Edge not hitting, Flawless Duet not hitting either. And that's the go button for JD Gaming. I love what Zoom was able to do there. Without the Aftershock, he's still willing to go in and get that kill. Scout also missing out on his perfect execution. That should have been a Zoom kill.
A lot of whiffed ultimates that fight.
Yep.
But I will say, Clement, Zoom's ultimate definitely not whiffed there. Landed the 4-man Cataclysm in the middle of all that. Unfortunately, there wasn't really any follow-up damage from JD Gaming, so it didn't turn into a whole lot, but it's the thought that counts. Well, no, it's not, but I like to give him credit for it. And now JDG have been able to push out the mid lane wave as well. This one's starting to go late, Clement.
Yeah, this one is starting to get real dicey because you get to a phase where a Sivir Boomerang and a Shock Blast is going to kill your support. There's a lot of squishy targets on EDG. The best way for EDG to fight this is actually be proactive and have JJ go in with Gargoyle Stoneplate, and then everyone just follows in from the flanks. But if they have an extended fight with JD Gaming across terrain, I actually think they lose it. I think they're going to get poked out at one point, and they might be forced to give up Baron. Even with the gold lead they have, something like that happening multiple times on the wrong members could easily start a Baron for JD Gaming.
Got to find a bait, got to find a pick, got to find something. But the problem with trying to get a pick against a composition that has Fiddlesticks is they already value vision so unbelievably highly, so that the Fiddlesticks can do his job. And at this point, it doesn't feel like EDG are going to be able to get the drop on JD Gaming.
EDG can't really start this Baron. It's way too dangerous with all the vision control here. Great ward placement by JD Gaming, putting the control ward in the blue brush. Very difficult to clear that one out. And this is just going to happen over and over again.
EDG rotating up towards the Baron. It looks like they're going to start it here. Scout still on the flank. Vision has been spotted away. Half health on the Baron. Flawless is nowhere to be found, but Yagao's here. Chunks Eyeboy down to half. The Baron's going to be secured. Jinu, this time he's going to be able to find the Vanguard's Edge, but Zoom walks away. The slow is returned onto him. But EDG get away with the Baron.
Okay, never mind. That was way too fast. Double Infernal, double Mount.
Yeah, it's a little...
I forgot about that. That was my bad. Actually, EDG, it's perfectly fine. They only needed, like, what? That was less than 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty quick. Eyeboy takes a ton of damage on the side, though. If they get that pick, however, Zoom gets taken down. And Edward Gaming still have the Baron buff, still have all 5 members. Eyeboy's healed up back to full. What can EDG do with this? And can JDG make the miracle hold? They're looking for Scout. They find the Fear. They have the Crow Storm on him. The split push is shut down, and so is Scout. But EDG coming into the mid lane, they're going to be able to take down the inhibitor. That Mountain Drake paying dividends for them at the moment. JDG want to stop them from taking down the second inhibitor tower. But again, the Mountain Drake does so much. They should be able to take this one down. Should be able to take the inhibitor as well. It's a 4 versus 3. 4 versus 4 now. Lumao forced to flash away. The flash in from Eyeboy. Going to be able to pick up the kill. Featherstorm, he pulls back the blades, and he's going to pull in the kills. Edward Gaming get the ace in the base of JDG, and it looks like they may be able to take the clean 2-0 victory over JD Gaming.
Now this one really took a while, and you saw JD Gaming playing the poke comp very efficiently, holding on to their territory, keeping those blind spots from EDG. But at the end of the day, all of those Drakes really added up to something that JD Gaming could not counter. A super fast Baron, a split push away, and Xayah was just way too fed. One full item ahead of Imp. No one could really do damage to Eyeboy. Eyeboy gets the double stun beneath the turrets, and that's lights out for JD Gaming.
EDG this game were absolutely fantastic because not only were they executing well when things didn't go their way, they were able to pull it back. They were able to keep calm and controlled, and they were able to control the map. I think the biggest thing, though, has to be that mid play.
Yeah.
That was the defining moment for this game, and I think this series, because that was the epitome of trust coming in for Jinwoo and from Jinwoo. He trusted that his team would follow up, and he trusted he knew the damage to be able to take that down. And that reset the tempo in favor of Edward Gaming.
It was 4 kills in a row from JD Gaming's side. They caught Scout twice in the skirmish in the top lane and then at the Drake. If that play didn't happen, JD Gaming should have walked away with full map control. But instead, you see Jinwoo go in, full combo onto Imp, instantly kills him before he even deals any damage. They win the 4v5, and from there, they keep the snowball going. So this game, a lot better game than game 1. JD Gaming still have a lot of fight in them. When it's Flawless, Zoom, and Yagao playing the 3v3 in the top side, that's still a very scary prospect. But in terms of the bottom lane, there's a couple of problems here. EDG just outcalculated the bot lane way too well. They had a lot better vision. They saw Flawless as he was coming in, and both of these games, they were able to counteract the bottom lane ganks. They had the teleports in place. They knew where the jungler was coming in, what direction he was in, and I don't think JD Gaming executed well enough on that lane priority. That was one big part of this game that I felt JD Gaming didn't really capitalize on.
I think one of the things, though, that they were able to do that I thought was admirable was if you were looking at that gold graph towards the 17, 18-minute mark, that was the top lane play. That was the play where they decided, okay, we can take this one, we can pull back an advantage for themselves. So, no, they didn't really capitalize on lane priority or much, but they didn't give up without a fighting chance. They are now 0-3. Yes, that's not ideal. I know. Everyone's doing exactly what Clement did, drawing breath in through your teeth. But I feel like this was a good showing from JDG that shows that they still have some of the fire that got them into the playoffs finals last split.
I just want to say, JD Gaming, it's probably a little late to go on the Kanavi experiment in Summer Split. Like, you guys had a great chance in spring. You use your shot on Levi. If it didn't work, you probably have to stay with Flaws now. I hate to break it to you, but it does look like the case. And you have to remember, going 0-3 impacts their playoff chances tremendously. 5th to 8th place last time in Spring Split only had 1 game differential. If you're starting the split 0-3 and you drop out of playoffs, I don't think you even make it into the regional finals. Like, it's going to be that difficult to get in. You still have FPX that's going to take up a spot. You still have RNG, IG, TOP that are looking for their spot. The Rift Rivals teams are going to have the rest of the Rift Rival teams are going to take up a lot of spots right there. So you don't want to be put into a position where facing going into playoffs is a big question mark over your head. I honestly think that JD Gaming might need to shelve some of their experiments and just go with the roster that has the best performance right as of now, which is Lumon and Flawless still. At least, look, Flawless is up and down, but at least you can talk with the guy. That's still a step up.
Well, it feels like JDG just want to make sure that they have the best possible roster going into Rift Rivals, and then they can look at Worlds too. Having their options open, I feel like is never a bad thing, but so far, like you said, there's a certain point at which you need to cut your losses. There's a certain point at which you say, okay, that was a little bit too much. We need to come back to our core. We need to work on that, because that core is what got you into the finals of the LPL Spring Split.
I'm predicting that in order to get into playoffs, you're looking at something like around maybe 7 wins. So that's a really tough number, rough estimate, but the top of the table looks so strong right now, it's going to be very hard for the rest of the table to actually find any scraps left. So the win count might not be high, but it's important to start early. It's important to start when other teams are still rusty, get those wins out. The wins in the later half of the season are actually going to be much harder to come by. And this is a special phenomenon in 2019. We expanded to 16 teams, but playoff team berths did not grow with the size of the league. So it feels very, very pinch for these teams to find their spots.
I think that's going to be the key for JDG going forward, is saying, okay, we got to stop.
There's going to be a point where they're going to have to, like, okay, we can't experiment with this.
I mean, especially because game number 1, that was not just on Team, that was not just on Kanavi. That was on the draft, too. That was on Coach Home. That is the kind of problem that you need to iron out no matter who you're playing. That is the kind of problem that you want to make sure your main roster doesn't have. And if you're giving away all these chances of practice, all these chances of experience, yes, scrims are still a good way to practice, but it's not going to replace all the on-stage experience. It's not going to replace all that practice you can get against the best of the best here in the LPL.
you really need to shore up a couple key points. Number one is the Akali pick. I think that one has been killing JD Gaming ever since 2018. If Yagao cannot play it, it hurts too much in the meta. She's 100% win rate right now over 4 games. The Aatrox is the same idea. You cannot give one of those bans away earlier on. It gives the enemy too much leeway to draft compositions that they like to get whatever counters you in the same sense. So I would say JD Gaming, you need to fix up on those points. You need to have like a very clear point. Is like, okay, if we're already down like 4 games in a row, wrap it up, Kanavi. We'll see you in 2020, but we might have to go with Flawless and try to at least make playoffs before we make any other moves that way. So a lot of pressure on JD Gaming. I like their game too. It showed that they still had that same sort of fight in them, and they know how to play around these picks, and nobody else really understands what to do with them. Lumo on Fiddlesticks, I called for that pick because he plays it very differently from everyone else. He's willing to give up a tower to set up a potential winning team fight. Not a lot of teams are willing to do that. When you see RD playing, the entire map collapsing, you don't see them suddenly going onto the enemy side of the map into their own jungle and then just say, you know what, this side is us. We're going to play around this side. We just swap sides on the map, and we try to play from that side. Lumo has had that type of a shot calling ability, and that's why that pick is so potent. But right now, they need more. They need more of those flex pick layer down. They need to be able to snowball correctly off the lane with priority. And if they can't do that, I'm not even sure I see them in playoffs.
Harsh words coming in from Clement Chu, but we of course can pivot back to EDG, and we're going to start off with the MVP of the match, the man, the myth, the legend. It's going to be Jinwoo, of course, on that Aurelia play. Just absolutely masterful.
Yeah, really good damage share right there, 31%. He did 4K damage in a single team fight. I underestimate this champion at my own peril. There's a lot of times where I just think, okay, Aurelia's not going to do much here, but you always prove me wrong with this champion. I think she's a staple of the league right now. And if you just watch this team fight, again, this is a 4v5 team fight where Xayah did not participate whatsoever. And just watch what Jinwoo does here. He kills Imp before Imp even does any damage. Scout doesn't even have his ultimate, and they win the 4v5. When I saw EDG going in, I was thinking, what are they doing here? Like, is this the correct play? I don't think this is right? And like, what? Okay. I was so surprised that that play worked out as well as it did. But you can really tell how confident these players are in their own capabilities to make that happen.
And I think this is a really good look for EDG coming in. I don't think this was necessarily a problem of EDG last split in playoffs. I don't want to say it was a fluke that they got knocked out, but Sino Dragons just definitely showed up better on the day last split. Whereas I think while these changes aren't super huge, I think they're fairly significant because you have Jinwoo, who is playing about as well as Ray did last split, and that is massive praise. But you have JJ coming in, who has a very different energy from Clear Love, has a very, very aggressive way of playing. He is so unbelievably confident. He has creative pathing. He's able to play mechanically well, and he's able to lead the team in a way that I think makes EDG a significantly scarier team this split than last.
Good mechanics, I totally expected that, but the pathing was a true surprise to me. He was completely on point throughout all of these games. Once again, you see Flawless not being able to really close out on anything, aside from the fight in the top lane where a lot more members were actually involved in that one. So I actually think JJ is going to be a great addition to EDG. I think that EDG, they still have to have their goals on at least finals for this split. They had a very poor showing in playoffs, and if you're going 7 and 8th and you go 7 and 8th again, that means not even regional finals can save you. So they're looking to get at least a finals berth if they ever want to show up to Worlds this time. It's a little bit late, but it's better late than never. You have to drill in on JJ. From what I've seen from him, I'm confident enough to give him the full split.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of aggression, that kind of confidence coming in with his first 2 games, ridiculous.
I'm not sure if EDG are going to stick with this because they never actually have, but just do it, EDG. Just do it. It's better late than never. You have to make the transition sometimes. You know, I think Clearlove is still going to be a great voice in the organization, coaching behind all of these young ones. But you have to let JJ get his time in the spotlight, get him used to the pressure.
And it's been looking really well for EDG so far. Let's take a look at the standings after today's matches. We, of course, have Suning and EDG taking victories today, leaving them both at 2-0, third and fourth place, respectively, in the standings, just behind FPX and RNG.
I would not expect JDG to show up at dead last in the roster so far. There really haven't been any weak teams in the LPL this split. I think maybe you say Vici Gaming and V5 are the ones you want to pick on, but even then, V5 has been able to claw away victories. LGD's been finding wins. So the days where you could reliably get wins from a few teams is gone. The LPL is a league where everyone is strong. There are tons of mountains to climb, and you can never put your guard down. There aren't games where you could do it in spring like RNG did, where you're just running like the B team. It's like, hey, let's try this, and Robbie, we'll find our wins later on. You can't